The Rangers get shut out by the New York Islanders by a score of 3-0. Ilya Sorokin makes all 41 saves. Rangers played pretty well. Sorokin definitely deserves a lot of credit. The Rangers have been struggling lately, though, just in general. They're now winless in the last 4, winless in 5 of the last 6, and this is a worse stretch than we saw last year. And maybe it's good that it happens at this point in the season, because look, like, the Rangers have to start winning hockey games, I think it was going to be tough, considering the Rangers had a pretty grueling matchup against the defending Stanley Cup champion Avalanche the night before. Islanders a little bit more rested. Although the Rangers played a really good first period, not as good in the second. Although the Rangers really came out strong, and it was unfortunate they were not winning after that first period. Jaro Halak was in net for the Rangers, and when you don't score any goals, it really doesn't matter. Halak was okay, better than he had been against Columbus, but still not a huge fan of what I've seen from Jaro Halak. I thought he looked shaky at points. I thought that first Palmieri goal was not a great one. There was blame to go around, but I didn't think that was... the Bailey goal, nothing you can do about it. The 2-0 goal, nothing you can do about that. That wasn't his fault. But the first one, a little weak. One lineup change. Vitaly Kravtsov, who we saw get hurt a little bit against the Avalanche, he was out. And with Kravtsov, he seemed to be very fragile for whatever the reason. I'm not sure if that's just a coincidence or what. So Julien Gauthier gets called up and looked pretty good. It was kind of a classic Gauthier performance where he has these amazing individual efforts, gets on a mini breakaway, can't score, draws a penalty as well. But you know what? I'm all right with Gauthier being in the lineup, considering the state of the Rangers, and he can give a little bit of an offensive push. Minutes were limited, but thought that he acquitted himself well. And, looked a little bit better than Kravtsov. And that's kind of like the battle in some ways. When you think about last year, Gauthier kind of made the roster over Kravtsov in some ways. We'll see what happens this weekend when they go to Dallas and Arizona, whether Gauthier stays in the lineup. He might. I guess it depends on the status of Kravtsov as well. But Libor Hájek was in the lineup again for Zach Jones. This was not as good a game for Hájek as the Colorado one. I would expect to see Zach Jones in the next game. That's just a hunch. But, that Ranger third pair, it's tough. The Hájek-Schneider or Jones-Schneider, it's not very good. And I keep on saying, the depth on this team isn't the best. It really isn't. That I feel bad for Sammy Blais that he's stuck with Carpenter and Reeves. That line just is not going to score. Rarely will it score. Again, I thought it was another night where Chris Kreider just continues to not look very good. He just doesn't. I thought that, again, Kakko is the best guy on that line. I think Zibanejad's kind of hit a little bit of the funk. I didn't think Lafreniere was very good tonight either. I feel like it's to the point now where you might want to move Lafreniere back to his natural side. I'm not saying that he deserves it based on this performance, but why continue to cater to Chris Kreider? That's the thing. It's let Kreider go to the right wing, and that'll open up the left wing spot for Lafreniere. I think it's just something to consider, but I'm sure they're going to want to stick with, mainly Zibanejad, with Kreider, and Kreider on that left wing. They're probably going to want to stick with that, but don't be shocked if some lines maybe shuffled up next game. Look, the Rangers have had trouble scoring goals, and it seems like the only way they can score goals is if it's just a beautiful, amazing passing play. They got to be able to score greasy goals, and they just haven't done so. And a key is Kreider. Last year, he was scoring a lot of those, close-in goals. It's just not happening this year so far. So, now they're 3-3-2, which isn't great. But in this game, like I said, I thought the Rangers jumped into a pretty decent start. Rangers take a couple of penalties early. Ryan Lindgren high sticks Oliver Wahlstrom at 5:34. Rangers kill it off. Penalty kill was good on both sides tonight. Keandre Miller trips Anthony Beauvillier at 8:32. And then At 1909, Anders Lee trips Jimmy Vesey, and that creates a Ranger power play. They were unsuccessful as that goes into the second period. In the first, Kakko made a really nice individual move, and Sorokin made a really nice save. Unfortunately, they weren't able to score. Then the Islanders take another penalty soon after they kill off the Lee one. It is Pajot slashes Gauthier. But again, the Ranger power play unsuccessful. And the Islanders, they have a very good penalty kill, to be fair. And at 8:44, it's a goal. Kyle Palmieri is first of the season from Pajot and Pulak at 8:44. And that gives the Islanders a 1-0 lead. Not a great goal by Halak. That was a goal where, you got Hayek and Schneider on. And, they probably gave a little bit too much space there. And, there's just a lot of, trying to do, I don't know, like on that goal, Panarin's kind of just, putting the stick out there. And Palmieri shoots it in. So it's 1-0 Islanders. And then in the second, Adam Fox trips Anthony Beauvillier after a bad turn where Lindgren turns it over. Rangers do kill it off. There were some opportunities, but not many for the Rangers in the second. So we go to the third. Rangers are down 1-0. And in the third, you get a pretty, the Rangers get a little bit of a flurry early on in that period. Specifically, Fox takes a shot from far out, and it goes off the crossbar. Rangers, just didn't quite have the luck tonight, but also blame to be had as well. So the Islanders do take a 2-0 lead. A nice play. Josh Bailey scores his first goal of the season from Pelech and Barzell at 5:37. So it gives the Islanders a 2-0 lead. And at this point, you're thinking it's going to be tough. And the only chance the Rangers had was if they were to score on a Romanov delay a game penalty at 6:53. But the Rangers power play gets nothing going. And the Islanders keep that 2-0 lead. And they would extend it at 15:22. It's Palmieri's second goal of the night from Pelech and Pajot. And this was a goal where Kreider is kind of, I feel like Kreider was a little bit out of position on that Bailey goal where Kreider and Trouba tried to switch. I'm not sure where the blame goes. And then on the Palmieri second goal, Kreider's kind of reaching out and Palmieri just quicker to it. And so, you can't be stick checking. You got to be a little bit more physical. But the Islanders win this one 3-0. Sorokin does a really nice job, makes all 41 saves. Rangers didn't play horribly. I mean, they played a really good first period, and who knows, if the Rangers come out of there with a goal or two, you might be looking at a different outcome, but they weren't able to. And in these Islanders games, it's very important who scores first. Islanders take a lead, definitely helps them in terms of their style of play. Rangers were unable to score. They're shut out. So now the Rangers will head for a Western Conference trip. And the Dallas Stars, who have now, they got off to a hot start. They've struggled a little bit lately. And so Dallas will host the Rangers on Saturday. And then the Rangers will take on the Coyotes on Sunday. It's been tough. There's been a lot of back-to-back situations. And so where normally against the Coyotes, all right, you're feeling like maybe you can win that one. Look, the Rangers are going to have a game just the day before in Dallas. So who knows how that could affect them. I guess we're to assume that it'll be Igor versus Dallas and Halak versus the Coyotes. I think that's I would assume that to be the case. Is that, definitely Igor versus Dallas. The question is Coyotes, and I think it probably goes to Halak. They probably want to, split it up for the back-to-backs. So, and that'll close out, October. So hopefully the Rangers can, win these games this weekend. It's not going to be easy, but we'll see what happens. Again, Dallas Stars, that's going to be a tough matchup. The Rangers, won at Dallas last year. They beat the Coyotes twice last year, but it wasn't so easy. So we shall see what happens. For Arizona, that's still one of the worst teams in the league. So hopefully the Rangers can, straighten things out. It's been a rough start. Gerard Gallant, looking at Gerard Gallant as well in terms of making those adjustments and, putting this team in a better position to win. He's going to need to do so because, things could spiral quickly. We're not quite at that point yet. They need to right the ship. But again, Rangers lose to the Islanders. They now are winless in the last 4. Their record drops to 3-3-2. We shall see how they do this weekend at Dallas and at Arizona.